Hey yo, rollers, it's your boy J Malt. If you like original tabletop RPG adventures, join our Patreon for all original content like one-page dungeons, one-shot adventures, as well as original monsters, traps, and items. We create new stuff every month so that even if your DM isn't fully prepared, you can save the day. Check us out at patreon.com/Goblins Growlers.
I will remind you, though, just so that you have this information, you did cast Shillelagh at the beginning of the combat, so it is a magical weapon and does count as such.
This is a fun idea. I think this is a little more fun.
And I'm excited for you to do it. I just want to make sure that you remembered that happened.
Right.
I was just going to say, Alex had pronounced it Shillelagh, but I know for a fact when Koza does it, it's Shillelagh.
Shillelagh. Got me on my knees.
Sorry.
So from your position on your knees, what is it you're going to be doing?
Oh. Wow. This fight just took a turn.
We're back in that cave.
Dun, 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 dun.
This is Quid Pro Roll, a fantasy live play adventure where a party of unlikely heroes embark on a quest to bring dragons back to their world.
Well, howdy, listeners. Welcome to the Daily Crier Listening Show, where all the news and variant and beyond can make its way right to you. Now, through words of truth, the 4 affected members of the party all return to their own bodies. Well, I reckon that's a mighty comfortable feeling. I've never really experienced that kind of curse, and I don't think I'd like to. Anyway, they move on through the temple into a room of discreet lighting and old portraits. However, they soon find that they are not alone, as a spectral serpent coils into the room. Showing itself to be quite unfriendly, the battle begins and the party realizes only magical effects and weapons have any effect on this creature. Will the ghostly guardian spell an end for the party and their journey? Find out today. Television was fun. Well, listener, as always, y'all take care now.
So, last we had dealt with, for lack of a better term, you were fighting in the gallery this strange, spectral serpent thing that had been twisting around in the air. After dealing some significant damage to Johannes, it slipped spectrally into the wall. You all can tell that it has not fled. It is still there. But you don't know where it is, and it is now Koza's turn.
I know that you were just clarifying that, it's a ghostly figure and so it can pass through walls. But I did picture for a moment the concept of this ghost snake thing that only turns physical when it's getting into little gaps in walls.
Koza's gonna go up to the wall. Is it just, what kind of wall is it?
So it's going to be a fairly opulent but regular wall. It feels cold to the touch and a little bit as if it's got some kind of paneling on it to more easily hang the portraits and paintings that are up.
Okay, so it's like a wood paneled wall kind of thing?
It appears to be.
Koza's gonna knock on the wall.
Your knock echoes.
Echoes behind the wall? Or just in the room?
Just in the room. Nothing happens. No response is made. I will remind you that this is a combat. So you do have a limited amount of things you can do.
There's nothing to combat is the thing. This thing seems to be... it's gone, right? There's nothing in the room with us?
It went into the wall, but you can tell it is still there.
Right. In the wall, but I don't know where it is, right?
You know it's in that room. Yeah, you can still hear the boss music.
It's taunting you from a distance. What's the wall made of? You said it had paneling?
Yeah, it seems to have some kind of wooden paneling to more easily hang the portraits.
Attack the wall, Koza.
Well,
the spirits inhabiting the wall.
I did knock on the wall, which is sort of like an attack.
No, you attack non-lethal. You have to go full force when you attack the wall.
All right, I'm gonna let you take one action as it stands before I move to the next turn.
I mean, Koza. Oh yeah, so Koza knocks on the wall. I think it's still here, but I don't know how to get to it.
That'll bring us to Boat.
Having seen all of this occur, I think Boat is going to attack the wall.
So, roll... I'm assuming you're swinging with your great axe.
No, actually, let's do unarmed. I'm just going to punch the wall.
Hell yeah.
I hate this.
Because it's wood paneling. I'm going to destroy it. All right, that's a 16.
I mean, that's a hit.
All right, that sounds good. So that's
That's
gonna
in the
be,
direction I want to go.
that's gonna be a 7 for damage.
So with a feral roar, your fist is going to slam through the wood paneling, not only making a sizable hole, but also cracking the paneling almost in twain. The portrait above you falls, the frame shattering.
Mm-hmm. You're damn right. Does Boat feel as though the spirit has somehow been affected by my wall percussion?
You are able to tell that one of the portraits, a little bit of a distance from where you were, shook just a little.
Ooh, it's shook.
Solinar, that brings us to you.
So Boat's punching his way into the wall.
He is.
Does it seem like the wall is hollow behind?
I mean,
where
he's
Boat is punching?
cracking the paneling that is, like, in front of it, but it's not that there's a cavern behind it. There is a solid wall. It appears to be some kind of mortar.
I think Solinar is just going to stand at the ready for when the serpent pokes its head out, and then he's going to dash... Excuse me. He's going to dash over to it and strike out with his sword. Like, the instant he sees that darn thing poke its head back out.
Obviously, that would bring us up to Johannes.
Johannes puts down his bag and he starts rifling through it. He's like, oh, let's see. Oh, not what I'm looking for, but let me put on some lavender hand cream. Okay, yep. Don't want my hands getting too dry here. That could be a problem. Okay, here it goes. And Johannes goes, ah! As he holds out some holy water. Like, there's one thing I know ghosts hate as a ghost hunter myself, and it's the holiest of waters. And then I hold it.
Wonderful. So, Boat, from the portrait that you saw shiver just a little, you see the spectral form of this creature charge out of the painting and twist towards you.
Okay.
Boat, look out!
Its mouth opens, but its jaw drops to this unnatural width, making its mouth this elongated, really uncanny vision. Out of this abyss that is opened in its mouth is shot this huge bolt of light. Koza, Solinar, Boat, all of you are able to duck out of the way, but not before it hits all of you and sears you for 15 damage.
Oof. That's not bad at all.
Shocking.
Do we take half the 15, or is that...
No,
half?
that's the halved. It was originally 31.
Well, as promised, it's stuck its head out of the wall. Solinar darts to the side to avoid the brunt of the attack and then charges forward, thrusts out with the blade, and goes just a little wide, and the tip of the sword of Shireen just like sinks into mortar instead. Well, you said it was wood paneled wall.
It's wood panel before you hit mortar. I'm not going to destroy your very fancy sword.
So the Sword of Shireen sinks just a little bit into the wood, and then as Solinar withdraws it, just like a little chip of wood paneling comes off the wall.
As the creature's kind of retreating from Solinar, and it's kind of like snaking along the wall, Johannes runs and he goes, "Not so fast, ghost!" And he throws the holy water vial up in the air, and he takes his shield and he punches through the holy water vial, and then punches into the like ghostly wood paneling, and he does it kind of in rapid succession along the like sides of it, so it goes in a like horizontal line. You just see two huge chunks where the shield has been punched through, and the holy water kind of completely covers the shield, and every time when one of those chunks hit, the shield comes out, and for whatever reason, like the wood paneling's like charred, like where he was punching, and gonna roll some damage.
I love that you did this like very in-depth description before, and like this very cool like everything it does before rolling damage. So with all of this, and then you roll like a 2 for damage.
It's always possible. I rolled 10, collective 10.
All right, that's not
Some real Captain Ilaria moves there.
Yeah.
I'm loving Johannes now doing the whole Captain Ilaria thing. This is absolutely crushing it.
I'm a ghost hunter, and ghost hunters have only one thing, and I'm all out of bubble gum.
So where's the ghost right now?
It is on the other side of the hall, but definitely within casting distance.
Okay.
Probably.
Is it heading towards the wall?
It's not moving anywhere. It's poked out of the wall through one of the paintings, and is just getting absolutely like double dragon beat down by Johannes.
So Koza tries to take like some swords out of his pouch, and I tried to cast blindness, but the snake is unaffected.
I am so sorry.
Honestly, I just really appreciate your consistency.
Boat, that brings us over to you.
So I'm still standing there at the, like, I jumped out of the way from the mouth lightning. Mm-hmm. Am I still close to the wall?
Yes.
Okay, and about how far from me is the creature?
Probably about 70 feet.
Okay, let's see. And is it just kind of hanging out, just sort of floating around?
I mean, it's halfway in the wall coming out of the painting.
I'm going to attack the painting.
That it's in?
Yes.
Okay. How so?
I'll throw my hand axe.
Okay.
So I pull it out of my belt. I do a fancy little flip in the air and then catch it again and then wheel it back and throw it dead on at the painting. And it's only appropriate to do slashing damage against a painting because I'm not an art lover. And I do nine art damages.
So as the hand axe spins and hits the painting, hitting it in such a way that it splits it cleanly in two and it falls down, forcing this creature out of the painting and back into the room proper.
How many more paintings are in this room?
A lot.
All right. For my free action, I shout, we gotta destroy all the paintings. That's the only way to keep it from escaping.
You can hear a squawk of disapproval from Alita.
Let's capture that sound just for later use. Peeking the mic just like I expect.
Look, man, I only have so much vocal range, and my vocal range is shriek. I don't know what you want from me.
The vocal range is volume.
And the dragon serpent ghost thing is out of the painting and back in the room, right?
It is.
Well, then Solinar's gonna run up on it. Hopefully this time better than last time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, I didn't think about this. Do any of my allies close up on it?
both you and Johannes were right there.
Oh, I was punching the walls. Is it still like? Did it come out of the painting like in the same area?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm right here.
I just needed to know if I was going to be allowed to add my sneaky sneak attack damage.
You can indeed add your sneaky sneak attack damage. Because in this, for some reason, between the two of you, you are the slithery little sneaky snake.
Oh, we slither, all right.
So, Solinar pulling the Sword of Shireen out of the wall and that little chip of wood flying away, and then the axe hitting the painting right beside him and being like, "Bah!" And then this slithery, sneaky snake comes sliding out back into the room. He turns around, and as the snake is kind of gliding up over him, he just like does a direct palm on pommel of Sword of Shireen and just jams the blade up into the tail end of this slithery, ghostly serpent. And then does his best to hang on to it and drag it through the remainder of the body towards the tail.
As you do so, the end of its tail splits into a fork. It turns, and you see nothing behind its eyes. That brings us to Johannes.
Does Johannes pick up the fork?
Mm-hmm. When there's a fork in the road, there's only one thing to do. Forget about it. I'm punching this thing in its Shadow Isla's face. Johannes runs up to it with his shield and gets in between it and Solinar, and then using Solinar to provide additional thrust for his shield punches, Johannes takes his booty and he does a booty bounce with Solinar, giving himself more velocity.
You know, when I was super excited for you guys to figure out like how to do double and triple text like in Chrono Trigger, this wasn't what I had in mind. I'll take it, but know that this wasn't what occurred to me.
Well, this is something that Solinar and Johannes have been working on at camp, where Johannes needs just a little bit more push and reach with his shields. And so he like juts his butt out a little bit, and then Solinar like checks his butt to like project his shields forward with just a little more force.
Yeah, so that's exactly what happens. And Johannes misses completely both times. He gets too much force. He goes straight into the wall. Whoa! And goes right past the thing.
He has a cartoon splat.
Yeah, right over the fork. It just goes right into the wall. He's like, oh, man, we got too good at that.
I didn't think we were providing that much force, but okay.
The eyes that are blank with nothingness immediately turn to you, Boat. And again, its jaw drops to an unnatural depth. You feel, instead of bracing for another shot of lightning, something roils in you. Something squirming and dark. And you feel energy and life dying inside you, and this rot overtaking your organs on the inside. For 34 necrotic damage.
Okay, I can take that.
I'm certain you can. This time.
You say 34?
34.
Let me get out my calculator here.
Let me do some abacus mathematics.
Yeah. All right. All right. Oh, my organs.
Sorry. I don't know why that was so funny to me.
My body's running away. Somebody get me a phylactery quickly.
The creature is then going to turn and quickly fly towards one of the portraits. Solinar, this will provoke an opportunity attack for you.
Oh, hell yeah. You know your boy's gonna try and take another stab at this creature.
Oh, Solinar, use the hip. The hip.
So as the snake turns to try and find another portrait to glide into, Solinar takes a half step kind of around Johannes and just like slashes at the side of the creature.
Wonderful. That brings us over to Koza.
So Koza sees the snake thing rushing towards the wall, towards the painting, and takes the staff and points it at the wall. And there's like a burst of spores fly out the staff, and they hit the wall and cover it. And then seconds later, a bunch of spiky puffballs grow out of the wall and out of the painting. As I cast Wall of Thorns.
Wall of gross fungus.
Yeah.
So you're expecting it to go into the wall.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a good strategy.
It's like one of those decorative ivy walls, but with puffball spiky mushrooms.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
This wall of spiky puffballs. As the wood gets like darkened and then splotchy, and these puffs start to form out of it.
Gross. Boat.
I'm fighting to survive at this point. Am I on the other side of the room from everything at this point?
You are on the side of the room that the creature is flying towards, but you are still a distance away from it.
Okay. I think the reasonable thing for me to do right now is to try and run and hide a little bit, considering where I'm at hit point wise. So,
Bravely bold, Sir Gravy.
Yeah, obvious exits are north, south, east, and Dennis. Which one is closest to me?
South.
Okay, I'm gonna just hoof it that way and try to find a spot to cower and recover, as I can now feel my insides rotting out like a zucchini left in the refrigerator for just a bit too long.
Awesome.
Boat's a 1 week, 3 hour, 24 minute, 3 second avocado.
Boat is about to be the fart jazz musician.
Solinar, that brings us to you.
So the snake creature thing has run away from us. How far away is it?
At this point, before it slams face first into the spore wall, it's probably about 40 feet from you.
Okay.
It's a quick, it's a pretty quick little thing.
Okay.
And by little, I mean enormous, but like still.
Solinar sprints forward, sword of Shireen still in hand, but pointing out towards the side. And as he sprints forward, he goes into a slide, and then he brings both bases of his palms together as he's immediately underneath the creature, points them up at full extension, yells, "No touching!" and just blasts up into the air a plume of fire that consumes the creature briefly.
Johannes, it peels himself off the wall, and he kind of like re-gets his bearings. He shakes his head, and then he's hearing the no touching, and he's like, "Oh man, that over there, that's somebody who's about to get lit. Oh, there's the fire. Okay, now's the time. Gotta strike while the iron's hot." And Johannes starts running over, and he goes, and he's kind of like forming a little a
point,
little, like, yeah, like a bow of a boat by taking his two shields and kind of like angling them so he's got a little point in front of him, and he starts running as fast as he possibly can. And then when he gets close to the creature, he just jumps, and he's like, "Woo! Boat mode!" He does a total of 8 points of boat damage, but not damage to boat, who does not need anything right now.
It's going to turn. You can see there's something about it that is becoming wrong. What you and I would recognize as the people that live in the world as, people, it looks like it's glitching out almost. Its existence is stuttering in a way that is unnatural looking. Yet at this moment, it drops its jaw, and with a final growling shriek, I need Koza, Johannes, and Solinar to all make dexterity saving throws again.
Yeah, and you get +3 on it. from me.
I mean, that's helpful, but I still don't know that a 14 is going to cut it.
Okay, I got a 17.
I rolled bad.
In solidarity, I also got a 14.
Hell yeah. I mean, no.
No, it's what friends do.
Okay. So those of you that did not save your throw are taking 33 damage. Those of you that did save your throw take half of that, rounded down.
You said 33 damage?
Yes. 3 followed by another 3.
Ugh.
Give us the bad news.
Well, you want me to give you bad news?
Yeah, what's the bad news?
This is like a death rattle scream sort of thing.
Uh-huh.
Solinar is not just bleeding, he's bleeding from both ears. And he's just like,
Oh, wait.
No.
Can you give me a good mop?
Kosa, that brings us back to you.
Who here looks like they're doing the worst?
I mean, both Boat and Solinar have taken some pretty gnar hits.
Boat isn't here, so Solinar looks like he's doing the worst.
He is the one who has described himself as bleeding from the ears, yes.
He's mopping over there.
Okay, Koza is going to run over to Solinar and grab some just like the grossest looking paste out of a pocket.
Pocket paste!
Well, he grabs a vial.
Okay.
Or no,
I
he
thought
grabs.
you just had like
I
a
mean,
pocket full
Okay,
of goo.
look, I'm trying to cast Cure Wounds, but I'm trying to make it kind of neat.
Okay, I'm happy for you to do so. I just wanted context for pocket goo.
I think it's a little messed up that you're giving your friends vile pocket goo.
Okay, fine. Yeah, no, I reach in my pocket and I sift through like a handful of, I don't know, mushrooms that are just in his pocket. And I grab the right one, the one I'm looking for, and I split it in half. And then is the only place he's bleeding from his ears, or is there like...
I imagine he's damaged in a couple of spots.
I mean, he took lightning damage earlier, but I don't imagine that shows up as like active bleeding, where in this case, I think both of his eardrums ruptured on that last one.
I imagine there's also like some burned places from lightning and stuff.
Yes.
So Koza's gonna try to to rub these mushrooms into the spots that look injured.
Thank you.
You've got it. You're welcome.
What?
Boat, we're over at you, bud.
So the camera has panned out and moved into an entirely different room to find out what Boat's doing at this point.
I mean, I imagine you're probably with Alita.
What's the boat doing?
I'm as far as I can be because I have 12 hit points right now, and I cannot afford to be close to any nonsense going on, or I might not get out of here.
You have an entire 12 hit points? That must be nice.
Yeah, I was about to say, you're doing all this because you're at 12?
Yeah, I am at less than 20% of my normal health. But
fairness to the boat on this, if he'd been present for that last scream and had taken even half damage, he'd be unconscious right now.
Yep. I think I will just wait and let other people take their turns.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Solinar, it's you again.
Solinar is going to, while still laying on the floor, pop the cork on a healing potion, which I think is probably what he started doing immediately after starting to be like, mop. And he's gonna chug that bad boy down. And is he gonna risk one of the cloudy ones?
I was gonna ask if you were going to use the dubious one.
No, he's probably going to use the largest one he's got. The one in the biggest, roundest potion bottle?
Flask?
Vial? Flask?
I do want to...
Something.
If you don't mind me saying real quick, also Koza is looking real bad.
All of you are probably looking real bad. Johannes slightly less so.
I look good. I've moisturized my hands beforehand.
Johannes is over here at peace, moisturized in his lane.
All right. If Koza's looking real bad as well, would you allow me to, Solinar laying on the floor, pull 2 health potions out with one hand, taking the larger one for himself, uncorking it and drinking it, and leaving the other one on the floor?
I will allow it.
Koza, there is a 2d4 plus 2 healing potion on the floor in your vicinity.
But it is not going to be close enough for Koza to grab it without moving.
Wait, no, that doesn't make sense.
Koza was just on top of Solinar for healing.
Okay, phrasing.
I said what I said.
Okay, so Koza didn't disengage. He's still like in the same 5x5 square.
I assumed I would have still been right there.
Okay, then ignore me. Let's continue this fanfiction.net combat encounter.
Yeah, so having been healed up by drinking a potion and Koza's tender healing hands filled with mushroom power. Having received a lot of healing, Solinar is going to pull himself back up to his feet, and I presume the serpent's gone, isn't it?
Not yet.
Not yet?
Not yet.
Well, I guess he's spending half his movement standing up. He spent his bonus action drinking potion. So is he close enough that 15 feet would get him in range?
Yes.
Oh, hell yeah. Then he's going to get in range and he's going to stab things again. Provided he can hit. That's a 1.
To hit?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Time to stab things again.
So as you get up, your body, still weak from the damage, causes you to fumble and drop the sword on the floor.
No.
Johannes, it's your turn now, bud.
Johannes.
So Solinar runs forward and he goes to stab, and the sword just woo.
Johannes sees the sword wooing.
You can hear yakety sax in the background.
And Johannes goes, hearing the sax yakking, and he goes and he punches as the sword's falling towards the ground, the sword. And he punches it towards the creature with his shield.
That's so cool.
Okay.
Solinar, roll sword damage. I don't know how much damage your sword does. And then I had +3 for strength. 11 points of damage.
You want to narrate this exorcism?
Yeah. As the ghost hunter, Johannes's ghost senses are tingling. He's like, there's a ghost still here in front of me that I'm fighting real time. And he's excited because Solinar drinks some potions and he starts sprinting towards it. Johannes is ready to support Solinar with a reverse booty bump, which is where Johannes uses his hip to check Solinar and give him added momentum. But as Solinar is running and Johannes is setting up for that, Solinar gets all, weak at the joints, and all of a sudden his sword just kind of slips and starts falling. Johannes decides, oh no, if I can't booty bump Solinar, I gotta bump the sword. So he goes and he kind of jumps, and he jumps kind of in the air sideways so he can get his shield really close to the ground. And so he's like sweeping his shield. You actually can see some sparks flying as the shield's connecting with the floor tiles, and it hits the side of the sword as it's falling, and it's kind of at the horizontal angle, and he punches the handle, and it just keeps going, and the shield just goes twing, and the sword jolts off of it. It goes all the way across the room and then right into one of those creatures' lifeless eyes, and it just goes, it does the classic sword where it like wobbles back and forth for a second, and then it's stuck there. And then the creature turns to look at Johannes, and as it does, it makes the sword move a little bit with its eye because it's connected to it. It goes, and then, and it all starts to evaporate.
And the sword clatters to the ground. The creature has been defeated.
That was incredible, Johannes.
Johannes is like lying on the ground and he's sitting there. He's about to get back up into a defensive position, but then he sees the creature disappear and he just goes, "Oh, thank gosh." And he just flattens out on the ground. "Oh man, time to be a pancake. I am hurting."
Yeah, I'm going to second that motion. And Solinar goes and retrieves the sword of Shireen, puts it back in its sheath, and then also lays down on the floor near Johannes, just like spread out.
Yakoza plops down and picks up that health potion and just downs it, and then just flops onto his back.
Are you guys all right?
From roughly 80 feet away, as you say that, you hear, "Help! Help me!"
Again,
What, is there another one?
12 whole health points, and must be nice.
Oh, my insides are rotting.
Okay, come on over, Boat. I got something for you.
Okay, Boat claws his way on the floor, the 80 feet back to everybody.
And when you get there, Johannes puts a lime in your hands.
Quid Pro Roll is a co-production of Alpha Comics and Games with Goblins and Growlers. Our audio production and all original music composition is provided by Gabriel Perez. He can be found at Amethyst Audiomancer on Instagram. The voice of Alita and our DM for the podcast is Alex Smith. She can be found at Alpha Comic Games on Twitter. The voice of Charles Gravyboat Barnes is Brandon Dingus. He can be found at Way of Brandalore on Twitter. The voice of Eek and Koza are Chapman Adams. He can be found at What Are Birds on Instagram. The voice of Johannes is Alan. He can be found at The Dungeon Meowster on Instagram. And finally, the voice of Solinar is me, Josh Maltby, and I can be found at BlackCloakDM on Twitter. Thanks so much for listening.
When I was but a wee bab, I was in this chorus group. And when my parents were getting feedback from the director, he said, and my parents felt the need to pass this info along for reasons I'll never know. Oh, well, she's not a great singer, but she does add a lot of volume.
I just imagine like a Bohemian Rhapsody-esque chorus where everybody's like doing all the things and then you know, "I'm just a poor boy, nobody loves me," and then it gets to like some one of the like solo parts and it's just like at a volume like 7 times all of the kids singing it was just one person. Ah!